Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are from. How are you today? I hope well. Welcome to the Xbox Ace Show, something that I wish I did more of, but I don't. But you know what? That's it. It makes it special when we get a chance to get together and chat and talk and see what's going on. Not necessarily playing games, but I want to chat with you. I want to have this opportunity to connect and talk. So in the past, you've heard me and Chuck the Ape and Little Shens discuss the pirate's life of Little C, of Sea of Thieves. And then the first episode, we've done about 4 or 5 of these. So I'm excited to be here. Happy Veterans Day to everybody in the U.S. Thank you very much to anybody that's listening, whether it's live or on chat or replay or YouTube, wherever you find yourself right now. Thank you very much for your service, everything that you do. It's Armistice Day, and Remembrance Day in a lot of the Commonwealth countries. You'll notice that a lot of people wear poppies overseas from the U.S., and that's a remembrance of that. And that's a pretty cool tradition. I wish that the U.S. did that for Memorial Day. I think that'd be kind of cool leading up to that. We could always do our own thing, I suppose, too. But man, oh man, we have got some really cool things happening tomorrow. Principal of which, the big tamale, is Battlefield 2042 launches for the people that paid more money than we probably should have for it. The base game's what, $60? It did include a season pass. I didn't go the ultimate, but I will be streaming Battlefield 2042 tomorrow. And why in the world, of all the games, would I do an Xbox Ace show on Battlefield 2042? Well, I look forward to sharing some stuff with you. I think that you'll see some value in it, and the chat window is open. If you have questions, comments, demands, we can go back and forth. I want to see what games you're looking forward to, what games you're playing right now. Talk me down so we can have a conversation back and forth. This is not just one way conversation. So again, a big welcome to everybody that's here, and let's start talking about Battlefield 2042. And again, feel free to enter in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on that so we can keep the conversation going back and forth. Great to have everybody here once again. So Battlefield 2042 is made by DICE. I have been a Battlefield fan since 2000, I want to say 2. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat came out. And I'd never, played it. I played Rainbow Six. That was really my jam. Rainbow Six 3, the original on the Xbox. I hosted a lot. I really, really did. We had a good group of people. Still keep in touch with those friends 20 years later. My goodness. To this day. But then Battlefield kind of came out, and there was more people, and there was vehicles involved, and you're just like, what? Now, Call of Duty hadn't really broken onto the scene. There had been Call of Duties, but not like we know it today, right? So Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, there's tanks, you could parachute, there's other aesthetics. Really, really, the first time I remember that I was talking about what happened in a multiplayer session from the game. Like, I'd never really been able to do that in Rainbow Six or any other games. But like, yeah, man, I landed I parachuted next to a tank, and then I put C4 on the tank, and then I blew it up, and the concussion wave from it. And you got to remember the original Xbox, the basic graphic, like, no other game did this, right? Destructible kind of environments. So you're having this awesome opportunity to have these awesome sessions driving around. No other game really kind of like it. So that was my introduction into Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Well, then Battlefield Bad Company came out, and that really, really put them on the map. Now, again, I'm not going to cover every single Battlefield because I've not played them all. I've not played 1940, was it 2 or 3? One of the two. Then there's one way futuristic. I haven't played that one either, so we're going to play the ones that I've played. Battlefield Bad Company came out, and you're dealing with a squad, great personalities, great voice acting, really fun, new Frostbite engine. This is when DICE had really, really begun to flex its muscle. You're going and you're playing as a squad. You could do it via co-op, and boy, did I like the grenade launcher, because you would blow out walls in these buildings. You take the buildings down, and there's no other game that's doing this, right? So then you're like, wow, okay. And then they make the second one, Battlefield 2, sorry, Battlefield Bad Company 2, another one. And the multiplayer is even bigger. The multiplayer is even better. And this is when we're really introduced to Rush. Conquest had been around, but Rush mode, where you have one side trying to push towards the objective. Once you complete that, it opens up another section of the map, so on and so forth, 2, 3, 4 times. And then the other side is trying to prevent that from happening. And the maps that they developed were fantastic. All different kinds of environments when it came to Battlefield Bad Company. But it's one of the few games that I remember being like, man, I'm enjoying the campaign. This is really fun. Like, I don't normally buy Battlefield games for the campaign, but those games, I was really able to remember how much I enjoyed them. And I still remember some of the cutscenes in my head. I remember some of the voices, and you can go on YouTube. But though that was a great one, and I think there's a real pining in the community to have another Battlefield come out that's a bad company. And I think when they do, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. So you have the bad companies, right? Then now we're cooking with gas. Battlefield 3 comes out. Okay. Now you've got jets. Okay. Not just helicopters, and you're taking off from carriers, and it's a whole nother level. The tank combat, the guns, the weapons. It's much more thrust into the Frostbite 2 engine, and you are in the thick of it. And the destructibility in the environment, and the colors, and the suppression. They added suppression. That was when, if you got shot at, things got really blurry. Now, if you go back and play it now, it's like, woof, it's a little much. That suppression's a little much. But it introduced this idea that you could get assists that way, and you could get points that way. And the DLC for Battlefield 3 was so much stuff came out, so many different environments. The sniping was really great because now you're talking really, really long distances, and you're having to really take into account the bullet drop in the Battlefield games because you're talking sniping from an LHD all the way ashore to a high rise under construction. That's yeah, it's crazy. If you can see them, and you could play normal mode where you can highlight people, or hardcore mode, which I never really dabbled too much in. I like the arcadiness a little bit of the normal mode, so you could spot and all this. But Battlefield 3 is then giving way to Battlefield 4. Now we're starting to talk something called Levolution. Okay, so now you have buildings falling down, you have dams bursting, you have water filling a level, you have storms rolling, you have all these things going on. That's that could happen or not happen. You could choose not to burst the dam. You could choose to not bring the building down. So really, every single time you play the level, it's not changing. It's not. Or it's not the same. It's always changing. There's never the same playthrough, and that was one of the things that was really appealing about it. You could get really good in a helicopter, or get really good in a jet, or in a tank, or in a boat, or so many vehicles, right? So then you start talking Battlefield 4 and the ability to have. Okay, so it went from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. Now, on Xbox 360, it was 12 on 12, which is still more than Call of Duty, which was, I think, 8 on 8 at the time. But now, when you go from to Xbox One, now we're starting to play on PC level servers of 32 versus 32. So you have 64 people hauling away at each other. Pretty interesting. One of my favorite maps in Battlefield 4 is called Paracel Storm, and there's a destroyer that's hung up on a windmill in the water. And once the storm comes in, you can break it free or not. But if you break it free, then it comes ashore, and it's another example of great levolution. And I really enjoyed driving the boats in that level. But you could introduce the C-130. You've had what's called the Commander. So at one point, they had it as an app on your iPad. And I really enjoyed that because you could just be anywhere and be a commander and launch cruise missiles and take people out and get points. And it's like, man, this is great. So Battlefield 4 is still played a lot to this day. There are servers, you can find it on PC, you can find them on Xbox. Very, very, very well played still. And let me actually do something. Let me say hello in the chat right quick. Let me give you my YouTube. I haven't done that yet. So there's the YouTube. And please feel free to say hello in the Discord. But also, happy, happy, happy Veterans Day. Whoops, I misspelled it. Give me a second here. There we are. Yay! Okay. So Battlefield 4, again, still to this day, modern. It was kind of what the community wanted. The launch wasn't great. Now here's the thing. Battlefield games tend to launch a bit dodgy. They tend to launch maybe, boy, they should have more servers, or the net coding was a real issue. There are certain levels you'd play like Dawnbreaker. We actually called the game that map Game Breaker because you knew when you started loading in, it was gonna crash to the it's gonna crash to the menus, right? You just kind of expected it. So they fixed it, and it's still running like a gem to this day. The next battlefield then was Hardline, which was a cops and robbers, a real departure from the military. But I still love to play to this day. You'll see me streaming it where I'm flying in a helicopter, and we'll play. Oh, I'm blanking on the mode. Hot. Oh my goodness. You have to drive cars basically and have them go a certain speed. It's got an element of the movie speed to continue to hold the point, right? Hotwire, there we go. And that's a ton of fun. And you get gunners and you work together. And actually, that's the best feeling helicopter, like flying wise, that I've experienced on the game or in any battlefield, to be honest with you, which I think is really interesting. So then you have, you go from, which in Battlefield Hardline wasn't exactly well received. It was still played, but it wasn't like fist pumps in the air. Then Battlefield 1 trailer comes out, and people are looking at this trailer going, oh my god, World War One? What? And then you watch the trailer, and it's probably one of the most thumbs up trailers that Battlefield's ever made. Battlefield 1. It was fabulous. The execution of it, the everything, the lead up to it. I really enjoy Battlefield 1. How do you make it modern? How do you make it fun? Well, they had guns just, machine gunny enough to work, and you could still fly airplanes, and different types, or you could be cavalry a lot, right? But this idea of big maps, a lot of different environments, etc. Battlefield shining with Battlefield 1. One of the new mechanics was the the gas, the mustard gas, right? You pop on your gas mask. You can't aim down sights, but you can hip fire. But that's something that could take health away. You could also throw fire grenades, and you'd have to roll on there, be on the ground prone to put it out. And again, chat, by the way, while I'm going off here, please, the chat window is open. I look forward to discussing what games you're currently into. We're going to talk about that. I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of a history of why I love Battlefield here, because it's super important to what's going on and why I think it's worth you checking it out. So you have Battlefield 1, huge success, and then and then DICE decides, in all of its infinite glory and wisdom, to go to World War II, but it's like it wasn't well executed. I didn't end up buying Battlefield 5. That's what they called it, Battlefield 5. And it's for a very, very myriad of reasons. It wasn't all the Battlefield 1 was historically accurate. You would play as a soldier and you would live as long as you could. And then if you died, it's like, this is the name of the soldier, this is when they died, and you're like, oof. Right? Just like that. Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, this idea of realism, right? Even in the campaigns. So Battlefield 5, the trailer, and then you have the chick with the bionic arm, and she's a sniper, and she's the cricket spike bat, and um, they're not getting quite the historical details quite right on purpose, and there's some agendas in there that were political, and it really divided the community because we just wanted a game that's like, yeah, let's play the game that's the way it's meant to be played, and this and that. But if you don't keep up your end of the bargain as far as what you've done previously, you start going into fantasy land. I mean, it's one thing to if you're expecting it and you're like, okay, this is the style of the game, this is what to expect, but that kind of came out of left field, and that made a lot of us feel very put off and dismayed and kind of like, huh? Not to mention, I almost now to be fair, when Firestorm, their version of Battle Royale launched on Battlefield 5, I almost went in on Battlefield 5 because I'm watching people play Battlefield 5 Firestorm. I'm like, ooh, but it did not last long for whatever reason. I don't know why that was. But then yeah. So you have all these things over the years, all this goodwill built up, and then Battlefield 5 was kind of panned, and the way they kind of treated us, the community, was not the best. So now they've decided that they're going to put all of that behind them. And Battlefield 2042 has none of that. There's not even a campaign. It is going to be the very, very biggest multiplayer experience that DICE has ever done. And I want to say that any game has done, because you're going to be looking at 100 and. No, that's not true. Because it's going to be 64 versus 64, not. Warzone has 150 people dropping into Verdansk. But yeah, so you have 64 versus 64. It's always been 32 versus 32. So now you're looking at these huge maps. And if you pull up any of the Battlefield 2042 trailers, the gameplay, etc., you've got tornadoes ripping through. You've got wingsuits. You've got sandstorms. You've got just near future technology that is really, really, really fun to look at and play, hopefully. I've been watching a lot of gameplay. You have Level Cap. I was recently, just before the show, I posted it in Discord. Jack Frags was able to play the game, and I was watching the different types. So you're going to have Conquest, where everybody should know Conquest if you play Battlefield. Hold down the flags, right? But you're going to be able to go to the top of a building, wingsuit to the other side, basically the other side of the map. That's going to be bananas. And then you're going to be able to go up elevators and on the fly, switch your attachments. Now, what is the gunplay going to be? What's it going to feel like? We'll find out. I don't know that keyboard and mouse is something that you can actually watch and play. Excuse me, you can actually do, because on Warzone you can, but I don't know if Battlefield 2042 will, if I'll be on controller, because even though I'm on Xbox, if I can do keyboard and mouse, I actually prefer it. It's very, very enjoyable to do that. So then you have this idea of, okay, we're back on track, Battlefield 2042, bigger than ever, better than ever, Osprey, tanks, robotic kind of dog things, the different classes. The beta I didn't play because I was away, but I've watched it and they've said that so much has changed since the beta. But my hope is going into this thing that the servers are going to be good to go on launch day. Because again, I'm a little hesitant. The first day, the first couple days especially, but the first week can be a little rough. But I'm hoping that Dice are doing everything that they can do to lock that down. How great would it be to have the best servers around, the higher kilohertz, is it gigahertz or kilohertz? Anyways, servers, because you really want to put your best foot forward. Warzone is played out. There are so many people like me that are frustrated with Warzone because of the cheating. You can go on YouTube and you can see streamers even. They accidentally reveal themselves cheating. And you're like, what is going on? You can see that it's a real problem. I think that if, for instance, again, I'm on Xbox. If you have Xbox versus Xbox, if you enable that to happen, PS5 and 4 can do that. But Xboxes can't. We have to play with PCs. But that's one of the reasons why I've been a console gamer for all these years. I can play online. The hardware, up until recently, has been fairly similar. But you reduce the amount of headaches of cheating. And so, what will Battlefield look like? Is there crossplay? What does the crossplay look like? If so, I have all these questions about what it's gonna look like. There's pros, but there's cons, and you don't want cheating. There is not, to my knowledge, a battle royale in Battlefield 2042 that's out on launch day, unfortunately. But there's other things going on. I think they have to. I think they have to absolutely get around to making something to that effect. Because Call of Duty, if I am not mistaken, Vanguard is out. And if you guys are playing Call of Duty Vanguard, let me know what you think. Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Talk me down. Is it something that you enjoy? Um, Also, you have I think there's a battle royale that's coming out, a new map instead of Verdansk is part of that, which I think will be great. A great opportunity, a really good opportunity for folks to see the difference. I think you just move it's time, but I think also that Call of Duty has probably been waiting to update Warzone for when Battlefield launches, because let's be honest, they're the two big gorillas, right? They are the two big time, and they're two different games. Call of Duty, you can play Warzone, but the multiplayer has always been very fast paced, very small maps, very micro, and the people that are lone wolves, the people that enjoy going around, getting the high kill streaks, and being the Mac Daddy in the round, that's their playstyle. That's the game that they enjoy. But then you have people that play Battlefield. It's more squad based, way more of a sandbox play, way bigger maps, vehicles. And my slogan has always been, well, you don't need um, I don't need kill streaks to give me permission to have fun. If I want to go fly a helicopter, I'll go fly a helicopter, man. I don't need to get 11 kills in a row or 9 kills in a row, and then it just is mediocre at best, right? This idea that you have this real freedom, which is why I think Sea of Thieves is a great game. You can load in, get on a ship, you can sail anywhere you want, anywhere you want. Doesn't matter. You can go anywhere on the map. You can do whatever you want to do. You have that freedom, and there is that type of freedom in the battlefield. A lot of different. You're playing chess. Do I go high? Do I go low? Do I cause this destruction? Do I not cause that destruction? You're thinking. Your wheels are really thinking instead of reacting and trying to get the first shot. You're trying to react and get the first shot, but then you have everything else going on taking up this bandwidth, and it's a challenge. So people that go from Call of Duty to Battlefield kind of struggle with that sometimes because they just want to run around and kill, but sometimes they're playing 2D chess when people are playing 3D chess. Literally playing 3D, right? People above them, below them. So that's why I think Warzone is kind of caught on with a lot of Call of Duty people too, because you're seeing the same things we've been doing in Battlefield for decades. Putting C4 on a ATV and running it into a vehicle and then blowing it up, right? Like we've been doing that, or a helicopter for years. So to see Call of Duty people finally be like, "Oh my gosh, you can do this!" You're like, "Yes, you can do this." We've been doing it for a very long time. So let's get with the program, man. So then you have in Battlefield 2042 this massive scale, the way the levels are going to change. So it's Levolution, but on steroids. One of the interesting things that is going to be really important to observe and see what the deal is when they introduced, if you look at the YouTube video, there's a tornado that tears through downtown. Huge tornado. It goes through and it's wrecking skyscrapers, right? Like this enormous F5 tornado. And then you are like, okay, am I in this path? And you get sucked up into it, or do I avoid it? How often is that going to happen? Will that be every single match? Will it not be every single match? Is it like the feedback that Dice received was it was cool first few times. Man, it kind of got old after a while. Like, I don't know that I really want to do that as much. So see it as much, experience it as much. So what do they decide to do with that mechanic? With is going to be very game changing. It's going to be a completely different way playing a match with that, without that. Sometimes a lot of questions. But that's one of the cool things about watching me stream it over this next week a lot is being able to observe. Yeah, this is something that I like. This is something I don't like. And they've done a lot of work between the classes and trying to fix things with 2042. So hopefully, I think it's poised. Looking at Jack Fragg's footage, it is poised to be a good launch. I think. Let's talk Battlefield Friends. Battlefield Friends. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link here to Neebs Gaming because I think you need to know about Neebs. Neebs Gaming, if you are unfamiliar, is somebody that is part of Battlefield Friends. And Neebs is, let's see if I can't. What can I put in here? Let's do the. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really, really, really good one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a link to this video that is hilarious. Battlefield Friends is a cartoon that was done by these guys on Machinima. There it is. There's the link for y'all. On Machinima. Now they're going to be on Neebs Gaming on YouTube, so I've given you a direct link to that channel. And Battlefield Friends, it was a 2, 3, 4 minute cartoon, mostly 2 to 3 minutes cartoon, and it reflected the humor of the game. And like if there were glitches, or if something was overpowered, or if there was whatever, their sense of humor was so spot on. The ability for the community to kind of laugh at itself. Battlefield Friends was live for Battlefield 3, for Battlefield 4, and for Hardline. They laid low for Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, and they've said that they're now really excited to come back for 2042. It does take a while for them to create the animations and to do their thing. So what they've said is they're going to play the game and then stand by. They're going to be releasing episodes on Neebs Gaming YouTube channel. If you're on my Discord, you know that you've seen the Battlefield Friends. I've posted here and there some of their old school videos, and they're great. And I highly recommend that you give them a look because it's a must. It's like a companion. There's this whole thing about Battlefield that's kind of been lost. Battlefield Bad Company 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 10 years there or so, maybe about 8 years, where we were riding high on Battlefield. Everything they did was just gold. Oh, another Bad Company, fantastic. Oh, Battlefield 3. Oh, I'm taking off on a carrier in a jet. Battlefield 4, like all this stuff that just kept going and going. And they captured it. It's like a time capsule of awesome. Right now we're starting to talk nostalgia and what that means and what that can look like. um, but it's really a good time because you're able to go back and watch that. If you've ever played any of those games, Battlefield 3, 4, especially in Hardline, you'll see what I'm talking about. So Battlefield Friends, go ahead and look it up on YouTube. They're reposting everything in one place at Neebs Gaming. There's one game I did leave out that Battlefield redid. They attached, so two of them actually. So in Battlefield Bad Company 2, they put in Vietnam in the menu, inserted it, but then there's also Battlefield 1942 that is playable. It's backwards compatible, and those are fantastic. I highly recommend you guys or play those games. They're really good. The Vietnam version, you're able to play music while you're in a tank, do flamethrowers, or in the Huey, which is excellent. But before I talk more about anything Battlefield, what's going on? What are you, chat? What are you enjoying? What games are you into? I see Chuck the Ape and Little Shunts playing Forza 5. I've watched some of their streams, and I think they're pretty fantastic. The game looks great. Forza is very, very popular, right? I'm not exactly a racer kind of guy, but Forza seems to be out there. Call of Duty Vanguard. So chat, if you want, again, chat window's open. I'm reading it. If you have anything you'd like to discuss or go back and forth on, happy to do that. That's why we're here today in the show, to have this dialogue. Because I'm happy to ooze about my excitement about Battlefield 2042 going live tomorrow, and you'll be seeing me stream that. And the thing that I'm a little hesitant of is, like, as a streamer, right? At least if you are like me, you want to kind of bring your best foot forward, put your best foot forward. And starting in a game that I've not played the beta, I'm kind of jumping right into. I'm going to be learning. You're going to be seeing that live and in person, me learning on the go there, which is really, really fun to see. But yeah, so anybody playing Call of Duty, the new one, I noticed that I think there's zombies as part of that. Now, you've seen me playing a lot of Back for Blood, and you heard me talk about Back for Blood. I gave my review of it. And if it was Call of Duty Zombies, I wouldn't be interested in Back for Blood at all. I wouldn't at all be interested, but it's not. So that's why I really enjoy it because you're able to kill the zombies pretty easily. Where man, in Call of Duty, it's just I don't know. It's just not really ever been my bag. And will there be something like that? Will Dice introduce that into Battlefield 2042? I don't know, but it's a modern 2042 is a modern combat setting in the near future. And is that a setting that you all like? I don't know that I like near future. I really enjoy current, but the near future where you have like the AI kind of dog. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. The four-legged thing that you can call in. Um, is there a commander that's able to help and assist? Because in the previous battlefields, that was you had a hacker for hardline, commander in Battlefield 3 and 4. You could, if they captured a certain point, launch the gunship, launch cruise missiles, do UAVs. There's a lot of other things. And what's going to be the deal? One of the one of the modes is called Portal. So you're going to be able, as a Battlefield fan, now I've just listed all the games that I've played, all the Battlefield games since '02, right? So I got a lot of history. I'm going to be able to go in, I'm going to be able to create the matches that I want from the eras that I want, and for using the people and the guns and the different vehicles. There's a lot of power in there. I don't know, maybe what was it called? The Halo. Oh boy, Halo 3, was it 3 that had it or 2, where you could create your own environment? Oh, I'm totally whiffing and blanking on this chat. I'm very sorry. I want to say theater. That's not it. Doggone it. Feel free to help me out in the chat window if you want, but it's I think it's along those lines, the portal. And then you have the other option to play, which is going to be, I think, really really interesting. And it's let me see what it's called. I'm blanking on that too. I apologize. Um, feeling not prepared here. It is. I think. Man, I'm so sorry. It starts with an H. Doggone it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So it is Hazard Zone. So you're going to be able to go in and you're going to insert with a squad of people, and it's different every time. You're going to go like recover satellite data. You're going to recover things, and there's like little missions inside of it that you have to do, and you can't die. So it's not just going to be Conquest. It's not just going to be Portal. You're going to have that. You're going to have these huge maps. You're going to have Levolution, which is going to be absolutely bananas. So I encourage you to go and look up Battlefield 2042. I don't think there's going to be anything quite like it. And if you're a Call of Duty fan and you're kind of over Warzone and you're looking for something new, you've maybe been in the Battlefield world a little bit, but not a whole lot. Again, if you're a Lone Ranger and you like to be the person that saves the day, Battlefield is not going to be for you because you're going to be one of 64 people on one team trying to make a difference. So if you choose to be in a helicopter, if you're really effective in a helicopter, you can do that. If you're really effective in a tank, you can do that. What other vehicles are there going to be that you can be effective in, right? Like, what's your thing? I prefer to actually get to be good. I want to be really well rounded in any Battlefield game I play. When I'm a soldier on the ground, I want to be able to take enemies out. I want to be able to take armor out. So I usually will roll engineer because that means I have a rocket launcher. That means that I can repair. That means I can have some heavy duty stuff if I'm on my 2 feet and doing my thing. If I'm in a vehicle though, I want to be able to do well in a tank or in a helicopter or in a jet. I always feel like I've done pretty well in those things. And then you run into those people that that are absolutely just Jedi's because that's all they do. They work and they come home, and for years they've just done nothing but fly jets. or fly a helicopter or whatever they do, right? You can go on and see some really amazing things. Like for instance, the YouTube video. Well, in the trailer for the game Battlefield 2042, in the trailer, you see where the guy goes vertical in the jet, leaves the jet, shoulder fires a rocket, shoots the other jet, gets back in the jet, and flies off. That's actually based off an in-game play that happened. Like no kidding, you can go on YouTube and see this stuff. So it was a hat tip to those guys, right? All these cool opportunities and things that you don't really hear. Like people go, you know what? I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 the other day, and this happened. I don't really hear that. Call of Duty, maybe in Warzone, maybe. It's more you got to see it to believe it. But then I remember Battlefield. You can be like, okay, there it was, and then this happened, and this happened. And the storm came in, and it's just more epic. It's kind of like watching Zack Snyder's Justice League compared to the original Justice League. It just is more epic in scale. Just feels like it's shot differently, and of course, because you have 64 versus 64, which is something that's again not been done before. So I'm not seeing anybody in the chat talking about new games that they want to play, which is fine, totally fine. You're welcome to hang out, no requirement there. But again, the chat window is open. If you have games you're interested in, I'd love to go back and forth, see what you're playing, why you like the game you're playing, what games you're looking forward to, what's still yet to come out this year. Like there's a new Matrix film coming out. I'm looking forward to that. Not a game, but I thought I'd throw that out there. But I wish to say thanks to everybody that's been a part of my stream and my community. I just want to take a moment to say thank you. I came back off deployment in April of this year, and I've really tried to be consistent, even though it's hard some days and weeks I'm gone, with this whole streaming thing. And would it help if there's a camera? Sure. But this idea that we're able to hang and still have a good time, and there's been growth, right? I'm over 300 followers now, and I love that. There's the energy out there. Today I know for some people it's not a lot, but for me I hit 10 people playing Sea of Thieves, viewers concurrent. And that kind of stuff is a real shot in the arm. Been working hard at putting stuff on YouTube for you. Really trying to deliver excellence. Now, are there people that spend more time on their YouTube videos? Probably. I just do a kind of a quick title, but I'm all about the gameplay. I kind of get all the other stuff out of the way. And I really want to just make it something pure for you to enjoy. I'm like, what would I want to watch? And so when I'm doing a game or doing a video, that's something that I think of, and I just wanted to express my gratitude for you all and this energy that I'm feeling. This kind of fun stuff is going on. I've been playing a lot of different games. Some streamers stick with the same game every day in, day out, day in, day out. I will go bananas if I do that. You see me stick with Sea of Thieves longer than probably anybody that's a variety streamer. But I try to take you on a ride, and I enjoy hanging out and the conversations we have. And I think it's kind of cool checking in on the streamer and streamer checking in on the chat. There's this idea, yeah, they might be playing a different game, but of course it is about playing a game. Hence, streaming as a gamer. So we try to keep that in mind. But all in all, really, really fun stuff is going on, and it's growing. And this next chapter in the stream is going to be Battlefield 2042. If I don't like it, I will have wasted about $99. Did I pay 99 or 89? Somewhere in there, $89. But I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it's going to be great, and I look forward to taking you along with me on the victories and the deaths in the sky, on the ground, in airplanes, in helicopters, and tanks. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be mammoth. It's going to be crazy. But it's going to be fun. And it's going to be us moving forward. And I look forward to that experience with us all together. So that is all I have to say about that. I appreciate it. So without further ado, that's really what I wanted to cover. Battlefield 2042 is coming out. It is going to be one of those things that's a great developer I think they've got their heads screwed on correctly. Dice, if you're listening to this, please make sure that the launch goes smoothly. You need it to go smoothly. You really, really, really do. You want to make your fan base happy. Build up some more goodwill. You've thrown a ton of resources at this, and we know that, and that's why we're stepping back into the ring. Even if we weren't there for Battlefield 5, we're there now, and moving forward with that. So you can expect a stream, which will be tomorrow, November 12th. Whenever the game goes live, I hope to be there and in the cockpit and having you guys there with me. Let me go ahead and pop one more time. This is the YouTube channel. There you go. And here is my Discord. You're welcome to be a part of that conversation. A lot of fun stuff being posted there. And of course, one more thing to say is, and I've already said it a couple times, but happy Veterans Day. Especially with the launch of Battlefield, Call of Duty has launched as well, but there's a lot of people that do this for real, and they don't have to, right? The USA has an all-volunteer Army, and Navy, and Coast Guard, and Air Force, and Space Force, and Marine Corps, and that's a cool thing. And other people will come here and they'll say, "Wow, I didn't realize that we get treated differently than you do," and it's thank you for your support for everybody. That's always grateful, and it's a special day. It's a cool day. It's also Armistice Day and Remembrance Day. So half of the world, a lot of the world is remembering the end of World War I and all the deaths, and it's the U.S.'s version of Memorial Day. So we have that in our hearts and on our minds today as we kind of close down the show for this time. There will be another episode coming up at some point, and we'll talk about good stuff. Great to have you here. But also, that's all I have for you. That's it. That's all. No more. Chat was quiet. All good. We had lots to talk about. But that's all I've got for you. So, have a great one. Happy Thursday to you. We're rolling into the weekend. Veterans Day weekend. And lots to happen. We'll catch you as always online.